In Auckland, New Zealand, it's Friday, the weekend is upon us, and over the last 2 weeks I have been going live pretty much every day apart from a Sunday to share some insights on the questions that I get asked the most as a professional singer and a vocal coach. And so I wanted to share some of the answers, the tips with you over the last couple of weeks. And today is the final live in the series where I am going to share what I think you should focus on when it comes to developing your voice. Now, one of the things that I've learned over time as a professional singer, like for 28 years, and a vocal coach, certainly for the last 7 years, is that a framework is really important. Like having a clear idea of where you're at and where you're going, a roadmap is super important. And so with my coaching clients, we do prepare, practice, polish, and perform. And it's this, like I said, cyclical framework that is really dependent on those cyclical creative seasons of whether you're performing or not performing. And when you're working in your preparation phase, it's about vocal care habits and your daily vocal health practices. When you're practicing, it's exactly that, having a really clear, effective practice plan that you can work on to develop your voice. And polishing is the kind of rehearsal phase. It's that real shining up what you got before you jump on stage and perform. And because it's cyclical, we want to be sure that we are, really clear on the steps on each phase of that process. And within my coaching curriculum, when I'm working with people, that's basically what I take them through. And so for preparation, we focus on vocal health, daily vocal care habits, like just having a couple of things that's specific to keeping your voice at ground zero every single day, regardless of whether you're singing or speaking, because vocal health is number one. You need a healthy instrument to be able to overlay these techniques onto. And then when you're practicing, really understanding how many times a week you need to practice based on what you're working towards, what specific techniques you should focus on, how to warm up your voice, how to warm down your voice, how to do a vocal workout. Polish is the specifics of deep diving into a song or elements of the song, like breath management, voice qualities, embellishments, anything that helps you to make the song your own, and really to understand how to storytell through your voice. And then performance, we can look at everything from how to prepare for a performance, touring, your singer survival kit, microphones, performance techniques on stage, like everything. And it has been, a really great journey putting together this vocal coaching curriculum. And one of the things I really wanted to do was share it with everyone, both through in-person coaching, but there's only so many of me. There's just one, and I actually only take 4 clients a week. So I only have a limited number of clients. I like to keep my coaching quite boutique, so I can really look after people well. But that means, of course, that I'm not able to give the information to lots of other people other than here on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And so coming up in 2 weeks, I'm so excited to say that I'm having the very first round of the 14-day Vocal Bootcamp. It's actually 2.0 because I have released my online singing course before, but I've completely tweaked it. And this is 14 days of everything that you need to know to get your voice prepared. So it's basically the first 2 legs of the framework: how to look after your voice effectively and how to create a really effective practice plan, plus all the tools that you need, the actual resources that you need to be able to do that in between. So yeah, I'm going to be opening that up in a couple of weeks. I just wanted to let you know that it's going to be out there. And if you're interested and want to know more about it, you can jump onto my online course waitlist, and I can send you an invite once that is open and ready for enrollment. I'll pop the link to the course waitlist in the comments or description box after we're done. But I'd be really interested also to hear, have you ever studied online before? Have you done any kind of online lessons? Because my story of why I'm so passionate about online is because that's how I up-leveled as a singer. In 2013, I got the opportunity to work in tertiary education as a vocal tutor. And having not had any formal qualifications relative to music, it was my experience that got me the gig. I had and have been singing as a professional singer, both a producer, a songwriter, all sorts of different things for 28 years. And that experience is what they wanted me to showcase. But the tricky thing was, I was like, I know I can do this. Like, I'm obviously doing singing, but how do I teach people how to sing? And that took me on this journey of learning how to teach singing and contemporary singing in particular, because that's what my speciality is. I specialize in pop, rock, soul, and jazz vocals. And when I looked around me here in Auckland, New Zealand, there were very limited opportunities. The course that I was about to teach in, couldn't really go to that. There was the course at the Auckland University, at the Auckland University of Auckland. My husband teaches in the popular music course, which is a great songwriting-centric course. That didn't quite serve my needs. And then there was one course that I didn't have like any immediate association with at Massey University. So I decided to study online, or I think they call it, what do they call it? Extracurricular, I can't remember the word. There's a special word, distance learning. And it was very classically focused. Like, I loved the theory elements of it and I learned a lot, but it was really not, none of the references were modern or contemporary. So they were very hard to align with. I did that first paper. I had to look further afield. And so I went and checked out Berklee, which is an online music school in Boston, Massachusetts. And it was the best thing I had ever seen and ever done. And I ended up studying 2 years through Berklee, or 2 semesters through Berklee over 2 years. I basically did a year's worth of study condensed into 1 semester, because I only had 3 months, 3 or 4 months at a time each year where I could study, because I was still full-time performing. I was still teaching and running my business as a creative director. At the time, I was producing a show called Christmas in the Park. So I was juggling a couple of things. So when I was able to learn online, it meant that I could do it in my own time. And it meant that I could do it specifically with that course. I was learning exactly what I wanted to learn. So I did voice technique and musicianship for the first grouping of papers, the specialist certificate. And then I went on and did the first paper of 3, which was pop and rock vocal specialization. There's also a jazz and an R&B specialization that I'll get around to finishing at some point. But what it just did is it opened my eyes to the tools that we have available to us and how amazing it was that you could learn all this information online. So from there, whilst I will go and complete my degree at Berklee at some point online, definitely, what else I did was I found other courses or other methodologies, and I kind of literally bought every single online course I could get my hands on. The Christina Aguilera Masterclass course. I bought Singing Success 360. Like, I just bought so many great courses and learned a ton of information. But the one that I've recently been deep diving into has been a method called the Still Voice Training method, which is the best thing I've ever seen from a voice science perspective. Really super tangible. So, you can really learn. And with that process of becoming qualified to be able to teach with theirs is like a 10-year process. And I'm in like year 3. So I'll be doing that one for a while. But I do that also online. They do their symposiums online. And that has been something that's come out of COVID, but it doesn't have to be a pandemic that forces you to go online. It's a way of learning and having access to people that you wouldn't normally have access to. And one of those people in my Berklee course was my tutor for my singing specialization is Pink's keyboard player. So I was feeling pretty amazed that I could be in the same environment and learning from these amazing musicians. And as well, I had some pretty cool people in my classes, like Grammy Award winning musicians and singers. So it just opened me up to the possibilities that there was more than just traditional learning. And like, I know I'm totally preaching to the choir right now because everything has gone online, but this has been my life for such a long time. And I really wanted to put my coaching curriculum into a program and pop it online so that everyone could have access to it, especially anyone who hasn't got access to me directly. Plus, you can learn at your own time. So if you're interested in jumping in, do pop your details into the online course waitlist. And that just means I will send you some emails and let you know when the course is live for enrollment, which is in the next couple of weeks, because the next live round, you can do it in 2 ways. There's independent study, which you can just jump into by invite only at the moment, and independently go through the course. And then also you can have what's called a guided study, where I'll be taking you through and having weekly group coaching sessions as well too, as well as both programs will have access to a private Facebook group and monthly ongoing kind of Q&As. So if that sounds like a bit of you, and if you're interested, I'm about to open the enrollment and start inviting. I have a list of people that I'm going to invite first before I open it to public enrollment. But I just wanted to let you know and be the first to know that if you do want to get an invite, jump on the wait list and I will invite you in the next week. So come and see me. Have a good day. And I really hope that I can offer you some clear tools via the 14-day Vocal Bootcamp. And by the way, it's 14 days of learning and 2 weeks of implementation. So we're actually together for a whole month if you choose the guided option. And that is, that is the way I'm going to show you the way that you can develop your voice really specifically with tools that have worked for me and hundreds of singers that I have worked with, both from emerging artists all the way through to established artists that you would know of and are in the charts right this very minute here in New Zealand. So look, have a great day. Holler if you have any questions, and I hope to see you very soon in person.